Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome back to part two of our post 2024 draft thoughts. How we feel our teams did in the draft. This is part two, so it's second question. Six guys, that's our crew at Talking Habs and Don't Puck with Media, and these are our thoughts after the draft. Here's the question. Question two, are you happy with the picks that your team made?
We try to forget it.
Yeah, but I'm a Habs fan, so I would want to remember that.
Of course you would. Because my pain is your joy.
Yes. Unequivocally, yes. Getting Demidov, even though if you watched my videos, you know, I wasn't a Ginla guy, but I have to say, since they picked him and I've done a little more checking on him, I got to say that I think Montreal made it's a home run here.
Yeah, overall, it's hard. I'm going to say unknown.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I was a TH and DPWM guy at a 5, but Demidov, I'm extremely excited for. We finally have that blue chip offensive prospect that we really needed to round out the pool.
Yeah. Again, I haven't really watched all of the rounds. I really only paid attention to the first round at most, and that's based on the last question. I guess that tells you how much I paid attention to it.
I'd be lying if I said I was going to get Briere an A for this draft because I'm not.
Absolutely. I am over the moon with a lot of the picks that the Canadians made.
Demidov is going to bring us pretty much everything that a Ginla does as far as point production, solid kind of play, like a talent.
I think the sky's the limit for Ivan Demidov. I'm excited to have him come over next year.
They took a lot of gambles throughout, the 7 rounds there. I think they made some selections that you just don't know. On the surface, nobody knows.
I would say I'm satisfied. I think Don Sweeney definitely made an emphasis to take size over everything.
Demidov at 5th. Didn't expect him to fall. Bob McKenzie had him ranked 2nd. I think everybody had him 2nd or 3rd on their terms of actual prospect rankings.
No, none of these players that the Flyers selected, players that are 2 to 3 years away from cracking and possibly cracking the NHL, maybe even longer.
First round pick is not one I would have made.
But Demidov is more dynamic, more game breaking, more lift you out of your seat kind of thing. We haven't had a player like that in I don't even remember the last time, right?
But yeah, I was very happy with that pick with Demidov at 5th. I don't think I need to say much aside from me being happy with the pick, because I think if you're a Canadiens fan or even if you're a hockey fan, you can understand why we'd be happy with Demidov.
You guys saw it firsthand. I was flabbergasted at the pick at first when we picked
We all were.
at 13.
Probably Kovalev, as they're all saying, right? And I think Demidov can be better than that and put up bigger numbers. Probably, his potential is 100+ points.
I think in terms of the actual building part of the rebuild, I think is over.
You're looking at Jet Luchenko, that's probably a year or 2 years away, more or less, probably 2, I'd say. I don't think they're going to rush him right away. He has a good season with golf. He might, be like one of those Travis Konechny types that, just comes and makes a run.
I was Demidov or Ginla. I wouldn't have minded Seneca, but I was definitely Demidov or Ginla. I did not mind either.
But he's going to be this dynamic, elite talent, skill level that we haven't had here in forever, that we always see on all the other teams. When you watch the draft now, look who they got, and we got, or you're watching the games, and all the other teams have these phenomenal talents. Now, we've got great talent on the team right now, but we don't have this guy.
Again, we can kind of revisit the Dean Letourneau pick at 25, where he's a 6'7", 215-pound, I would say power forward.
And then when Catton went, they went with the guy who was most likely to perform like him, Luchenko, who was 3 weeks short of the 2025 draft.
But the rest are going to take time. Berglund, he's going to take a little bit. There's just a lot of unknowns for the Flyers at this time in terms of the picks. Overall, I say yeah.
Hage, great pick.
And adding Michael Hage at 21, again, 2C potential there, ceiling. I think he's a great pick. Really, really good skater. Carries the puck well. Good passer of the puck.
He's a center. I think the Bruins needed to address another center, question there.
I like some of the gambles that they've taken. Big, stocky centers down the middle.
I will say, as the days went on, I understood it a lot more. I still don't. He still wouldn't have been my first choice. Don't get me wrong. It was at least 3 guys ahead of him I would have picked.
I think that this kid has a really good shot to make the team. He's a kid that really wants to be a Hab.
The Habs made a trade to move up to 21st with the Kings. They get Michael Haig, 1 pick off from getting Cole Yzerman, which I think would have been the slightly better pick.
He's got a lot of ties to the city, speaks French, so makes the French media happy.
But in terms of an overall two-way skill guy, Michael Haig seems perfect for the second, third line. I'm very happy with that pick.
A bit of a project, but I kind of have these flashbacks with Don Sweeney from 2015. I think we got to get over it.
Now doing a little more research, he had a fantastic combine.
This is a big draft. They have to nail the Jet Luchenko pick.
He pretty much fits the bill of what the Flyers are looking for in a center. They wanted a pass-first playmaker who could have good puck handling skills. He can move in a dime, so that's some stuff that really stands out to me about him.
I love Jet Luchenko. Watching him at Flyers Dev Camp, I think that was a hell of a pick now.
The second-round picks, I got to do a little more research on. My favorite pick, though, out of that was their 5th-round pick in Noah Powell. This kid looks like he could be a guy who could fit maybe in the bottom 6 later on, but maybe even has the potential to be a sneaky middle 6 guy.
At that stage, the only guy I really might have preferred was Cole Hudson, but we weren't going to pick him at 21.
But I think talent level, if you're worried about Doc and his injuries, Hage is a serious contender for a 2C spot. A top 6 potential. From what I read, that he fell a little bit, but could have been a top 10 pick.
As a Boston fan and Bruins nation, I think we need to get over that. But hopefully this pick works out. He had other good picks in McAvoy and Pasternak, but I'm hoping this Dean guy, he works out well after they build him up to be what I think he needs to be.
So overall, I'd say I'm happy, but there's a lot of unknowns going past, even in the second round with Jack Berglund. And you take a guy like Berglund, maybe he can move up to, a second line center, given his size. Skating is going to be a big thing, to crack the AHL and NHL for that matter.
I'm curious, what happened in 2015?
We picked 3 picks in a row that are no longer on the team.
Eitos Koivu, of course, in the 3rd round.
Can we say we both had him in our mock draft? We both had him at that spot. We were both right.
Yes, we did. In fact, on my notes, if I can show them, we did a pre-ranking, pre-draft thing. I did have him at 78, but I did say in the video I was flipping the picks because of where Ilya Nabokov.
We both had him at 70.
I think the Flyers had their sights on Berkeley Catton, hence why all the talk of wanting to trade up to Ottawa spot at pick 7 because getting him at 8. I think the Flyers had a feel that was their guy as well.
I really think they maximized what they could have got in the first round.
Again, for the third draft in a row, I thought Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon knocked it out of the park, especially in the first round.
Yeah, Eitos Koivu. If you're a Habs fan, how are you not happy about this pick? The son of Habs legend Saku Koivu. He's a centerman. He played like his dad. He's going to probably make the NHL. We can assume 3rd, 4th line if he's with the Canadians. It's a 3rd-round pick. It's the son of an NHL future Hockey Hall of Famer if he's not in already.
Yeah, Jet Luchenko wasn't my number 1 pick. I think his ceiling is probably a high-end 2C. I like it more now than I did about 10 days ago or whenever the draft was, 8 days ago.
They definitely have to, skate somewhat. These are decent skaters for their size.
And you get to see another Koivu in a Habs jersey. You got to love it. Logan Sawyer, I think it was a decent pick. I'll admit, this is the pick where I probably would have preferred Aaron Kiviharju, but I completely understand why we went with another centerman. You can never have too many centermen, just like you can never have too many defensemen. Though at this point, the Habs might have too many defensemen.
We picked Zach Senyshyn Jacob Saboral and Jake DeBruskin, none of whom are with the Bruins any longer.
The Luchenko pick was a little perplexing, and their second-round picks were okay. They were nothing like mind-blowing, but
I think they did a good job all around. So I'm really happy with the picks that they made. Yes.
Very, very happy.
The Flyers, I think if I had to rank them, I'd give them a CC plus right now, and that's because there's a lot of unknowns.
Everyone else, I hope to see them advance just as equally, and irrespective of what round that they were picked in.
I did get one of the guys on my mock draft, so that was cool. I think they had a good, not great draft. I'll say that. So overall, I'll give them a B-.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please share this video.